Yes, sir. I know people saw the title and it raised some eyebrows, but to keep it funky, this is facts over feelings, and the truth is the truth. A couple years back, I heard a clip of R.I.P. Patrice O'Neal. He was referring to a time when it was him and either one of his girlfriends or some shit like that, and she had a kid, and he was talking about some shit about how I gotta sit over here and look at another man's testicles. I spit my juice out my mouth. That shit was hilarious, man. You know how selfish you gotta be to expect another man to take another man's responsibility? I mean, the minute percentage of those guys that might settle down with you and do that is very small because majority of men want to start their own family. They don't want to take on another man's legacy, then add that shit onto his and shit like that. They used to call that shit back in the day a bastard child, for what it's worth. I mean, listen, we got a lot of guys that might find themselves into that situation. They're getting older, and then they might just say, yo, fuck it. And that's what happens when you settle. You feel me? But for the most part, a lot of guys are not with that shit. And you can't say anything because everybody has their preference. We all know a lot of girls be talking shit when a guy has either one kid with her, another kid with her, or two kids with the same person and shit like that. They are not that willing to deal with that guy. Even though men are supposed to be out here spreading their seed, that's another story. But we got this situation right here where it's a single mother says, quote unquote, some guys just want to be stepdaddy, quote unquote. So pay for my kids' private school. That's the title of this video featuring this guy right here, Kevin Samuels, who is just on the road talking to all these goofy bras, just exposing them for the selfish, quote unquote, narcissistic bras that they are. Meanwhile, they want to call guys who have standards, you know what I'm saying, some values and morals, they want to call them narcissists. A lot of people just misuse words and shit like that. Meanwhile, they're the narcissists themselves. That's another story for another day. Let's check it out.
Hi, your first name is Faith?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'll be 30 next month.
Okay, what do you got for me?
Well, I'm a single mom, and I think that it's okay with wanting a high value man. Like, I think it's okay.
You said you think it's what?
Not to stop this shit so soon and whatnot, but yo, I don't know whoever started this phrase, the quote unquote high value man. Like, what the fuck is that, bro? All these labels that describe this person, that person, and that person. Just be a good man or just be a good woman and all this nonsense. High value man. What the fuck is that, bro? You feel me? Just because what, you make six figures or what, you in this type percentile or some shit like that. Meanwhile, your characteristics is below level. You know what I'm saying? What really is high value? Asking for a friend.
It's okay for me to I'm about to start dating again, and I think that that's what I would like to date, and I think it's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, were you married?
Yeah.
How long?
4 years.
Okay. And was your husband a high value man?
He was working his way up to one, but no.
Okay. What does that mean?
He was starting businesses. He was a military man, and he was, getting off his feet. So.
And it's just hilarious. You hear her talking about he was on his way to or some shit like that. The ultimate goal is to be a quote unquote high value man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. To be honest with you, the ultimate goal is to be a man of God. And then that shit trickles down to the wife, trickles down to the kids. That's another story. That's why we all scramble right now with our own definitions of this, that, and the third, and our own labels and shit. It's only going to stir confusion when we don't even know what the fuck we're looking for. You feel me? But a lot of women are not going to be there for the ride, especially in this social media era that we live in. A lot of these modern day broads are not trying to be there for the ride for a brother to build himself up. They just want to get there at the finish line and get a guy who's already got it together. And it's not like that. That's why guys are getting tired of these broads, because a dude will take a chick from a fast food restaurant and build that broad up to where she going to school for a little RN or some other shit like that, but never a female, man. Not all, but somebody can let me know where they at, because I do not see stories of situations like that, bro.
Children do you have?
2.
All right. So to the market, what you're basically saying is, hey, the man I married and had 2 children was not high value. But now I'm coming to the market, divorced, older, with 2 children, wanting a man who was financially better than the one I had 2 kids for.
Yeah. I know it sounds bad.
This dude gave her the whip. Whoosh. Yo, ladies, y'all gotta understand that. Yo, let's look at it from this, man. You marketing yourself, right? Let's market yourself as a restaurant and shit. We got bad reviews and shit. Or then we're just gonna judge the book by its cover and we see the baggage that you got. You got bad seats, you got bad customer service and whatnot, and you only got 2 customers coming in. What man is gonna want to try out your restaurant? You feel me? You coming in older and you coming in with demands. A lot of women just need to humble themselves and take what they could get. Cause having that attitude to have you look over the good brother that's actually interested in you. Meanwhile, you chasing the small percentage of men who have way more options than you can imagine.
It sounds exactly like what it is. I don't fault you for wanting what you want, but the question always comes back, Faith, why should a high value man pick you versus picking okay, why should a high value man pick you versus picking a woman he can make his own children with?
That's true. I agree. Because when I had kids, I didn't want a man with kids also. So I agree. However, I'm just saying, I think that if I think that I could get a high value man possibly just because I have kids, it's not going to make it like, oh my gosh, she has kids. And I was going to ask you a question.
Hold on. What city or what state are you in?
Alabama.
You in Alabama? God. Man, listen, man, you got a better chance striking the lotto, man, than trying to find a quote unquote high value man that want to take on your children, man. It's yo, a lot of females, yo, I don't know why they take this shit upon themselves, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to humble themselves and they always think that there's something better out there for them. Meanwhile, what's better for you is right in your face and you could build. You had a husband who was trying to build for himself. He was in the military, hardworking dude, obviously. But nah, she didn't want that. She want to go to the finish line, yo. That's not cool by any means. And now you're 30 with 2 kids. Come on, man. Throw up on yourself.
Oh, one of the poorest states in the union. You just think you can get a high value man. Do you know any high value men?
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you a question. This guy, he's talking to me. He's a high value man, and I was just trying to figure out, like, does he really like me, or is he just like probably wanting a booty call because he's
Yes. That's all he wants is some ass from you. And that's what traps a lot of these brothers into settling down with these broads because she'll eventually have her 3rd kid and then boom, she got her quote unquote high value man. Whatever happened to just being a good man? You know what I'm saying? We got all these extra characteristics and all this nonsense. So now you out here searching for a quote unquote high value man. Meanwhile, you had one that was working on to be the best man that he could possibly be. And you in fucking Alabama. What? You might as well just go ahead and move to Florida because that's where all the crazy people at, all the delusional individuals at. You might find yourself a highly functioning, high value male who's definitely delusional as you are.
value, but
Probably number 2. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
okay,
Probably number 2.
he has no kids, and I'm just trying to figure out, like,
he has children.
No, he doesn't have any children.
Right, ma'am. I mean, all right. So let's fast.
Like really
Hold on.
listen.
Listen. Do you have a son or a daughter? Do you have a son?
I have 2 boys, a 1 and a 2-year-old.
Okay, so let's fast forward 35 years, and your oldest son is an accomplished attorney making $400,000 a year, and you've had to work with your ex to put your son through, University of Alabama, through Harvard, through junior law, all that stuff. And he comes home and says, "Mama, I'm getting married to a woman, a woman with 2 kids."
Bruh, we already know the answer to that shit. That's why these women are big time hypocrites, man. Big time hypocrites, and then they raise boys to just be big simps. You know that you don't want your sons doing the shit that you're asking another man for. So why the fuck are you really gonna be asking another man to do that nonsense, bro? Another man does not want to take care of another man's testicles, man, for what it's worth.
You gonna say, all right, son, I worked all my life for you to go do that.
I wouldn't.
Yes, let's go
I
get
wouldn't
it.
be happy at first. However, if
What?
she was,
No, see, now stop right there. See, stop right there. Why wouldn't you be happy at first?
because I'll be like, you can start your own family. However, if that's what
Let's
you
keep
want,
going.
if
Let's
you
keep
want to
no,
be
no, no, no. Let's
stepdaddy,
not go down to however. Let's keep on that path. You can start your own family because
that'd be the right thing to do. That's what I.
not the right thing, the better thing, because you didn't raise your son and go through all that for him to take over some other person's bills.
Yeah, that's true.
Welcome to you.
All right.
I'm sorry, man, but that's the truth. Are your children an
I
asset?
see what you're saying, but it's
but you still keep the
I see what
but.
you're saying,
Are your
but it's just
children?
like, okay.
Listen. Are your children an asset to another man?
They can be.
How could they be another asset unless them motherfuckers is 5-star recruits to the University of Alabama? Then that's the only way they are asset to any man, because then any man to take that responsibility, unless them motherfuckers is bench pressing 100 pounds right now, how could they be an asset? Come on, man. Stop being delusional, man. A lot of females are like this, man. And a lot of brothers are going to tell y'all about yourselves. It is what it is, though.
How can they be?
Some guys just want to be stepdaddy.
No. Tell me how they can be an asset.
Can't tell you nothing right now. Can't think of anything. So, you got me. You're right.
Bottom line, ma'am, you married a military guy. Why are y'all divorcing?
He was cheating, and we can't work it out because he's a narcissist. So,
okay,
narcissist
has he had a?
He's a narcissist, probably meaning he had morals and values, and he probably wanted her to do things that she didn't want to do. That's the code term for narcissist. And this is why, living in this society, a lot of people just don't understand, especially being so-called black. You want to call yourself, quote unquote, African American, but y'all don't take any hints, any clues from actual African men. This is what happens in this society out here where they try to tell you to be monogamous. We don't know if the husband was actually cheating, but this is why some men, not all, should be able to have more than one woman. A lot more women would be happy, because let's just keep it funky. When shit hits the fan, and shit will hit the fan, can't tell you when, can't tell you where, a lot of women are gonna be scrapping for a man, and it ain't even gonna be a quote unquote high value man. I promise you.
Designation of narcissist, or are you just saying
that? Clinical medication. Something's going on.
Narcissists lack empathy. Okay, so a narcissist is a narcissist. He's been around children, so he has no. Okay, all right. I'm gonna say this, ma'am. This whole high value thing has a lot of you ladies in a bad position. Ma'am, you're in Alabama. You're divorcee with 2 kids, and you want one. Do you care if he's black? The man is black.
I would prefer him to be black. Yes.
And that means you want 8% of black men. 8%. 8% of black men earn over $100,000, and they don't really tend to live in Alabama. That's 8%, regardless as to the age. 8%, regardless as to their current marital status. 8%, regardless as to sexual orientation. And you didn't make babies with an 8% man. You made babies with a guy in the middle. Please explain to me why you want a guy who's so high up now. That's what I really want to understand.
I feel there's nothing wrong with wanting a stepdaddy with high value. Like, it's okay for me wanting my kids to go to private school. Like,
really?
If that makes
Nah, it doesn't make any sense. You should just be looking for a mate. You know what I'm saying? Stop setting your expectations so fucking high that they basically become unrealistic, man. Start looking for a good dude. Stop get this old quote unquote high value man shit out of your fucking scalp, yo. You got a lot of people fucked up out here, man. Guys included also. Oh, I want to be a high value man. You gotta find your purpose. You gotta do this, that, and the third, man. Yo, man, get out of here with that nonsense, yo. A lot of women need to humble themselves because, listen, there would be a guy out there for you. As if you humble yourself, get rid of all those goofy ass demands, start bettering yourself, it'll happen, man. The Most High might bless you. That's not for me to say, but that's for you to find out.
No, well, tell me why. Tell me why it's okay.
Because if I find a guy and he's high value and he's okay with, I just don't see how it's like, oh, she got kids. Oh, I understand it is like more options out there, but just like, it's possible.
Really? So you don't see any problem, you don't see any issue with wanting your kids to go to private school that you cannot afford to pay for and your husband can't afford to pay for?
No, like if that's what I'm gonna
tell you this. That's one of the issues in our community, that a woman like yourself could honestly come up and say, I don't see any problem getting somebody who had nothing to do with this to pay for the bill. That's that welfare state mentality.
No,
that's
that. Not.
Listen. I'm not insulting you, man, but listen. You can't afford it. Your husband can't afford it. That means you don't get it. The only way you could get your kids in private school is to find somebody else who's willing to put your kids in private school. You want your kids in private school? Get a nanny, get a tutor, work with them to get them a scholarship. That's what you're supposed to do. Go get a second job. Go. Don't go get your hair done.
And that's another thing. Like I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm
okay.
Yo, he about to mute this bitch, man. Cause yo, a lot of girls, yo, specifically so-called black women, do not like listening. They only listen to react, and that's a big issue. Cause he's only stating facts. Get a nanny or get a second job. Stop worrying about your nails. Stop worrying about that weave. Stop worrying about shit that really doesn't matter. You got responsibilities now. You decided to get divorced. So you should be trying to figure that shit out with the father and whatnot. So what happened to the father? Did he die? Like, what the fuck happened? You feel me? Where did he go? Why is it all of a sudden that he's not even in the picture? Why the fuck do you need another man to come into the picture and do some old outlandish shit? That shit doesn't make any sense. Get a nanny. Get some shit, man. Start using your fucking head. Like I said, a lot of mothers out here claim to be quote unquote strong, but they don't use their strength in the right ways or the right direction, man. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Ma'am, in this life, we get what we work, what we earn and worth. You want somebody else to pay your bills. That is unfair. It is selfish.
How?
Because you don't have the money. And
I
you
do
said,
have the,
but
I
not,
do have the,
you can't afford to put your kid. Oh, Jesus.
Comes from money.
Okay, let me go ahead and grab this mute button. Because you said if somebody wants to come along and put your kids in private school, but you can't afford to put your kids in private school.
That's what you said. I didn't say that I can't afford.
But you said if somebody wants to come along and put your kids in private school, by implication, meaning they're going to be paying for it, not you. I'm not trying to play semantics.
That's true. Things. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, yes,
exactly.
They'll be paying for it if they're my husband.
No, they're not your husband. They'll be your step.
If they were.
All right. So in other words, guys, pay attention. These are the women you need to pay attention to. These are the women that really don't care about you. Because you said it, ma'am, if it were your sons, you would want him to go start his own family. But you're
I don't like how you...
But I don't care, ma'am. The words came out the way you said if they were your sons, you would want them to start their own families.
Yes.
But for you...
But I also said
right
if they do want to be stepdaddy, they can be. So
that's not the point.
Cool.
I didn't ask. No, again,
So basically, she's basically saying that she has no problem raising her sons to be stepfathers. Do you see why we need fathers in the mix? It's so important to know who you having a child with, man. You can't just spread your seed with anybody just because you're able to, bro. You gotta understand, you gotta meet your person, you gotta know them hard body before you even decide to have a kid with that child, man. To have matter of fact, the woman is a child, so I didn't even mess up by saying that shit. That shit just came out naturally. It is what it is.
Again, pay attention to what's going on here. It's because of her. It's not because it's what's right.
No,
It's
you
not
ain't about
because
to
of
do me
what's
like
right or
this.
what's best.
No, because no, you're trying to flip it.
I'm not flipping shit. I'm saying exactly what you're saying. It's not because of what's right or what's best. It's because of it's you. That's what.
That's it, Kev. She just trying to rewrite the script. She trying to take out a couple scenes, take out a couple characters, and add some new people in there. You know these women, man, try to direct their own movie and shit, starring them, by them, produced by them, and whatnot. Everybody else is cast offs, even the kids. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's because of it's her. Think about what she's saying. I would want my sons to get the best possible, but I want you to pay for it, and that's fine. But what is he gonna get for that?
He ain't gonna get nothing but a badge of honor and whatnot. That pretty much sums this shit up because, like, for another woman to feel like a man should take it upon himself just because he's a good man, he's doing it with the kindness of his heart. Not only is he a sucker, but at the end of the day, he's probably ran out of options himself, and he's just like, man, fuck it. It is what it is. I'll take these kids. You know what I'm saying? You hit people that probably hit rock bottom in all those situations and whatnot, but women have to stop being so selfish. She wouldn't even look for a man with kids before she got married. Meanwhile, she want to look for a man with no kids to take care of hers. Her best bet is to find a brother that she wants to classify as quote unquote high value, that either has a kid or two or three or four of his own, and then y'all could just be a great big fucking happy family and y'all could figure that shit out on your own and start to build like you really was supposed to with your first husband, man. These women do not like working. They don't like building with these brothers that are trying to work on themselves. They only want the finished product, and that's not cool. Because on the flip side, a man will build you up because it's in our nature, man. Tell me I'm wrong. When we want to talk about being a provider and a protector, we trying to provide you to be the best person that you want to be. You feel me? We want to encourage you. We want to build you up. That's just in us, man. We want to do good. That shit trickles down. So when the man is taken care of, everybody else will be taken care of because that's just natural nature, man. But man, that's enough of that, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. I'm out.